Hey everybody, Elizabeth Nader back with you tonight and the Nader Narrative, bringing you all of our great candidates, especially at the local level. I want to welcome Jennifer Makar to the show. Jen, welcome to the Nader Narrative.
Thank you. Thanks again. Been on the show before, and I'm so happy to be here again. Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Very happy to have you back. You are running in Roselle Park for actually for council or Board of Education. You're running for...
I'm running for Board of Education for the 1-year term,
Yes,
and
yes.
it's getting the race is getting heated. So here we are.
Right, here we are. And I got that wrong under your name there, so that threw me a little bit. I apologize for that. Board of Education is what you are running for. I don't know how we did that, but hey,
Okay, that's the
maybe
future. Hey, that's the
maybe
future, right?
that's the future. So we're going to use that as a little predictive. But anyway, Board of Education. So here's the thing, Jennifer. The first thing we want to do is get people to know you. We're going to share this, obviously, to all that are voting in Roselle Park. We want people to know that you are an incredible option for them. So first of all, let's go back into your background a little bit, who you are. We've introduced you to the audience before. You were running for assembly. I know you're really determined to make change in this state, and now you're focusing on the local level. So go ahead, Jennifer, and introduce yourself, please.
So my name is Jennifer Makar, and I am a first-generation minority woman from Jersey City. I was born and raised in New Jersey, and I can't imagine what's happening in our state is actually here. So we're facing a lot of trouble, and my family always told me to stand up for what I believe in. And I'm here to make a difference, trying to make a difference at my town level. I've been living in Roselle Park for 20 years, and I think that people need to see a change. The schools are our education system is depleting. Our
Yeah.
reading and math levels have gone down, and we're trying. The parents here have had it, and I just want to be a voice for the people who can't, be there.
So as you talk to people in your town about the school district and about the current Board of Education, tell me what they're saying to you in terms of their biggest concerns.
I think their biggest concern is what's happening with medical freedom, like the masks mandates, and parents have noticed a change in just the way their children are acting,
Right.
coming home and complaining, and everything's an issue from something as small as the lunches to
Right.
their grades and how they're performing in school. So these are the issues, and they're broad issues, but people they just don't know what else to do. They're out there, they're making their voice heard in Board of Education meetings. They're doing all types of petitions, but they're just things are not changing. So we have to get in there to change.
What was the experience for most people, most of the students in Roselle Park during the main part of the pandemic last year? How often were the schools closed? Were they doing virtual? What were the students experiencing in general?
They were doing virtual most of the majority of the time, and then when they moved in, they were positioned in between boxes, between plastic, between things like that within their desks.
Right.
It wasn't across all the schools, which didn't really make sense. So only middle school or only elementary school or only high school were getting COVID. It wasn't consistent, which showed that they didn't really believe what they were doing.
Yeah.
So
Right.
if you're
Right.
going to do something like put cardboard or plastic in between children and tell them they can only face this way or only eat lunch in this direction, then be consistent throughout the whole school system.
Right. Right.
It's if you want to make it like a prison, then you've succeeded. If you don't, then just take it out of there.
So we know that the governor instituted the mask mandate for the students, and we've seen different reactions in different Board of Education. Some of them just, sort of hiding behind that and saying we're not going to push back. Others have tried to push back on the governor. Others have expressed to parents that they're concerned about this, but they're navigating the issue. What has the general attitude been on the current board related to the governor's mandate?
It seems that they want to comply. They're just, again, I'm going to say that they're not consistent. So they want to comply with mask mandates, but they themselves walk around without the mask. And once they get in front of the camera on the board, they just, they'll put on their mask. So it just seems inconsistent. I believe that, people don't want to break the law and they don't want to,
Sure.
I get that. But at the same time, we have to stand up for our own freedom. It's a very valuable thing. And I think that your compliance or their compliance or whoever's compliance is just becoming, an overreach on our personal and, private lives. So I think if we get people that are, if we balance out the board, then we'll have more of a voice for the entire community.
Now, Board of Education historically has always been and is supposed to be nonpartisan.
Yeah.
So you're not supposed to see direct involvement from the different parties, and you don't tend to see or want to see really other political figures really weighing in on this. The Board of Education is meant to be nonpartisan for a big reason. There shouldn't be politics at the level of educating our children. What has been your experience with that issue in Roselle Park, and really specifically during this campaign?
Well, originally, when the wonderful students at the high school debate team, they came out and held a Meet the Candidates night for all the candidates running in Roselle Park, at every level, at the council level, at the Board of Education level. We went as Board of Education candidates, myself, Maria Cunha, and Angie Ortiz, and we spoke with the children. The kids were great. Other candidates were from the council. They're on the Republican side. They went, but the mayor of Roselle Park decided to advise the Democratic candidates not to attend. Yet then he turns around a week ago and endorses the write-in candidate against me for Board of Ed.
Okay, so we have a Democratic mayor weighing in on a Board of Education election.
Exactly.
Okay, well,
And it shouldn't be, and people are up in arms about this, but it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for them to weigh in so last minute and try to get a write-in against me.
well, there must be some fear. So I think we're seeing so many parents standing up. We're seeing so many parents running for these seats across the state. We're seeing it across the country,
Yeah.
frankly. And we're seeing people like you are saying that I really need to stand up for the children. So obviously they have some fear. What do you think they're trying to protect? What agenda do they want to keep in place?
Well, obviously, what's going on our board right now, we only have one person with like-minded views, as that represents the town. She really represents. Her name is Cindy Quintella, and she's one of the people who stand for medical freedom, who stands for parental rights, and for open conversation between the parents, the children, and the administration.
Right.
Right now, I mean, she's not the only one, but she's holding her ground on the board. So if we get myself and the two others, it's going to be a 4-5. So they're worried about, what's going to happen with that. And they
Right.
don't have to worry, because if we're all concerned about the future of the kids and
Yeah.
the direction of how our taxes are being spent on the
Right.
kids, then, we're all going to be working together. And that's the goal.
Right.
Regardless of who wins, or regardless of how the end result, whatever happens, we're still going to be working together. And they need to understand that. And,
What?
and,
Right. And that's
we
the
need
point.
to, yeah,
Right.
and I just it's not anything to do with one person or the other, and they have made
Right.
it. They've positioned me as someone who's a villain, and if they only knew me, they would understand that it's not about anything except for the future of our children and the future of this town.
Yeah.
We pay a lot of taxes. I don't have children, but I pay
Right.
taxes, and the taxes are majority going towards our schools. So,
Right.
and I think that I have a huge say in what happens here.
Oh, absolutely, you should. I mean, everyone should care about what's going on in the school system,
Everyone.
right? It frames our future. I mean,
Yeah,
what the way that we're deciding to teach our children or not teach
exactly.
them in many cases. Has there been a lot of conversation about CRT and curriculum, this critical race theory, which if I said that to you a year ago, most people would say, "What are you talking about?" Right? But it's growing in its presence and being pushed in sort of really obscure ways, sometimes not so obvious in the school. So
Yeah.
is that something Roselle Park is talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's not directly called CRT, right? So not
Right,
it's be called diversity this, or change that. So we're not really seeing it as CRT anymore. They're kind of disguising it as different things. So we do have to keep our eye out for that kind of curriculum. And it is involved somehow with, the sex curriculum, because if you
right,
think about it, it's saying white supremacy or white this. So when a white male is saying, he's being portrayed as evil or something like that, then the white males in our schools are going to, conform and want to maybe move
Right.
towards something like transgender or whatever it is. So
Right.
it's all connected. We think that it's just one way or one, like it's only about race. No, it has to do with everything.
Yeah.
The
Right.
diversity push, we have to be very careful about what we're seeing out there.
Well, it's frustrating that we're needing to push back on things that normally were within the home, right? We talk about the kitchen table
Mhm.
and how, that's your right as a parent to
Mhm.
decide how you want to tell your children about these issues and when to tell them about these issues. Obviously, the sex education as well. We saw that bill passed now is pushing that down to kindergartners, which is incredible. Some of the things that they're advocating the kindergartners learn. What is it about your background and your family? Now, one of the things I love about you is your background with being a Coptic from Egypt and really what your people have seen and been through. And I think that matters because I think one of the things that's ingrained in you is to fight for freedom and to care about the underdog and to care that people are treated fairly. So, what is it about your background and your community that makes you so committed to freedom issues?
So from when I was a child, I mean, our faith was number one. So we have God, family, and then our country.
Yeah.
And right now, my country is here. My family came from Egypt, and they saw the different pressures, and they left all that because they knew that they had to start from new, and they started from new in a nation built on the godly heritage.
Yeah.
So it's about maintaining that in this country. And it starts out with little. People think that one person can't make a difference. And I'm not saying I'm the person, but I'm thinking, well, I'm the person right now, right here at this moment. And then
That's right.
the next person is going to follow. And then it's going to be like a trickle effect. We all can make a difference,
Right.
whether small or big. It has to do with the amount of passion that we have to make a difference.
Yeah.
So people that think that they can't make a difference because it's just one person and one person won't, I absolutely disagree. I think one person can make a difference, and it
Yeah.
makes a huge difference in their own community, with their families, and just keep going. And like that's something that I would just tell anyone who is out there and thinks that they can't do something. Just keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've been committed to trying to make change wherever you can. One of the things that has really driven people to get involved in New Jersey in the past 19 months, past 2 years, is the medical freedom issue.
Mhm.
So, obviously, we're fighting for Jack to win on Tuesday. One of the things that a lot of people are concerned about is that if he doesn't, there will be a vaccine mandate, and especially for school aged children. And of course, that issue alone is driving people, hopefully, to the polls. Where do you stand? I mean, I know where you do, Jennifer, but share it with everybody where you stand on medical freedom.
Well, I do. I first of all, I do want to say that I share the same concern, and we saw the Project Veritas videos that have said that he's going to do the mandates.
Right.
And I think that if you are in America and you believe the Constitution and you believe that your body is your choice, then be consistent. Again, we have to remain with this idea that if you're going to fight for one idea, then be consistent throughout the entire thing. I
Right.
don't agree with any mandate on any issue, not only medical freedom, but on religious facts, on anything. It shouldn't be that one person has to do something because the other person feels more comfortable. If I'm not vaccinated, I can't be around someone who's not vaccinated is a completely ridiculous idea.
Right. Right. We've seemed to have lost some common sense there. So what is your vision for the Board of Education? You've seen the way it operates now. In your mind, obviously you have a vision for what it would look like. Should you win on Tuesday, hopefully you will. What is your vision for that and what goals do you think are most important for Roselle Park to achieve in the first year of a new board?
So, and most importantly, I think that we have to get back to the focus on kids and what their education, how their education is being formed. What's the reading curriculum like? Is the math standards up to par with the rest of the country or the rest of the state? Even, I understand New Jersey has great
Yeah.
schools, but Roselle Park is number 1,770 something out of 2,200 and 200
Oh,
something.
wow.
So
Okay.
we're really low on that scale. We need to get these kids back into
Yeah.
shape with reading and mathematics, and then to prepare them for whatever they want to do after high school. So
Right.
whether they want to go to college or if they want to do something like trade school, whatever it is,
Right.
we need
Right.
to prepare them for society. And
Right.
the other issue is where's my tax dollars going? I need to know, and it needs to be more transparent about, how my tax dollars are being spent. If
Yeah.
this, administrator or superintendent is making a certain amount of money, then he needs to step up and and earn it. And it's not
Right.
about only the dollar amount. You're not only doing that. You need to be able to. We need to hold these people accountable for
Yep.
what they're doing.
Yep. I think more and more transparency is going to happen because people like you are running and people like you will win. And that's what it's going to take for us to hold everybody to a higher standard, which hasn't been there in the past because people haven't taken notice like they need to. So it is a new day in New Jersey, which is very
Yes.
exciting. And we want to tell people in Roselle Park who are listening to this to please share this video. It's very specific to Roselle Park, but we're doing this so people can get to know who you are and your vision and goals for the board so they can vote for you. Of course, today was the last day of early voting.
Yes.
Tomorrow, no voting. Tuesday is at the polls. So Jennifer, if somebody wants to reach out to you, can you give them an email address if they have a question for you, somebody in your district?
So my email address is jennifer@jennifernj.org. And you can find me on Instagram at JenniferNJ. And I'm on Facebook, Jen Makar. And please reach out. I would love to speak to people. And I'm not gonna, judge you based on what you think of me or anything like that. I just want you to know who I am before you judge me, before you talk about me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sorry that it's gotten nasty like that in Roselle Park, although I think that's a good sign, Jennifer. That means that change is needed, right? And they're concerned about change, but we need someone like you. It's not about an agenda. It's about fighting for our kids and fighting for parental rights to make the decisions, for our families that we've always had the ability to make in this country, and that shouldn't change. And so I appreciate you stepping up. You're always willing to do the hard work. Anybody that knows you knows that you're super dedicated and passionate about rights and freedoms and being intelligent, about making good decisions for your community. So we give
Thank
you
you,
a
Elizabeth.
lot of credit, Jennifer, for stepping up. And we encourage anyone in Roselle Park listening or those people that know people that live there to share this video, please. She's running for Board of Education, and Jennifer will do an amazing job. So one last word to your constituents, Jennifer.
Just be open to new ideas is what I would say. Be open to someone who doesn't have a lot of experience, but just someone who really cares and is passionate about making difference. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. Passion makes a big difference in being dedicated, right? And new ideas are always needed. Jennifer, thank you so very, very much. I can't wait to see the results and really believing that you will get on that board and help Roselle Park. So thank you for coming on, and to everybody listening, help Jennifer get there. Share this video, reach out to her if you can help her, but let people know. And guys, if you don't vote, you can't complain. So if you want to keep complaining, you got to vote, right?
Exactly,
You got to be
yes.
part of that to change
Thank you.
everything.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I really appreciate all your help. Thank you so much.
Anytime, Jennifer. Okay, to my audience, we'll actually see you guys in a little bit. We're bringing another interview to you later tonight, Mark Rizzoli. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Bye.